Welcome to the Next Level Life podcast with Christine Corcoran. This podcast is made for the powerhouse businesswomen who are ready to ignite their fullest potential. This is where we will dive deep into the mindset breakthroughs and sprinkle in some kick up the butt motivation so you can scale your business with confidence and clarity. Whether you're craving more income, impact, or inspiration, this podcast will be your ultimate resource for all things next level. Listen in as we have authentic conversations with game-changing female entrepreneurs as we reveal the secrets on what it takes to rise and thrive. So go ahead, ignite your inner fire, and let's get you taking massive aligned action. Are you ready to elevate? Let's go. Hey, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are keen to double your income this year, then I have something that I've been working on behind the scenes just for you. There was a time in my business where I found myself at a point where I had to ask for money to pay for my mortgage, and it was a humiliating time, and I was like, drawing a line in the sand after that. When that happened, I was like, no, I'm never letting this happen ever again. I'm going to figure out how to create consistent income in my business. At the time, I was earning about $50K a year with my one-to-one services, and I didn't feel ready to actually have group programs necessarily, but I really wanted to increase my income. So I put some specific strategies in place that I want to share with you today that took me from the $50K a year to $124K a year in 12 months. Right? So if you really want to surpass that six-figure mark, this is definitely going to be for you. This is my six-figure leap. It is a 3-day challenge sharing with you the exact strategies that I put into place in order to achieve that result within my business. And I did it without introducing new offers. So rather than thinking, oh, you're going to have to launch a course or a group program, all of that. No, this was a time in my business when I didn't have any of that. I was still doing one-to-one and I was still building up my one-to-one clientele. So I want to share with you that you can do this too. And I want to share with you the exact strategies that I'm going to do this with you, but not only share it with you, we're going to work on it together. So I want you to walk away with really tangible things that you can put into practice into your business, because 3 days or 3 hourly sessions over 3 days is a lot of time to spend with someone. So I'm honoring that with you. If you choose to register and it's complimentary, you choose to register via the link in the show notes, I'm going to give you my all. I'm going to coach you live. I'm going to answer all of your questions. I'm going to help you see the different strategies that can work in your business, the strategy that I use for my business, and then we'll tweak it for your style of business. So if you're at that stage of business where you're like, I'm ready to hit 6 figures, then come and join me for that 6-figure leap challenge, which is happening for the 12th to the 14th of February. So if you're listening to this episode, it is going out this week. It's happening this Wednesday. So you need to jump on it ASAP. There will be replays available, but they'll only be available for a week for you to rewatch. So make sure that you're registered to get access to those. You'll find the link in the show notes, register now, and it's all complimentary. So today on the podcast, I want to share with you the in-depth elements of this, because there are core areas of your business that you need to get right in order for you to start to scale and grow your business. Now, at the time, I had been working one-to-one with a whole bunch of clients, and I was kind of like saying yes to anybody that came my way. I hadn't further explored more sales coaching. It was more, I was still doing a lot of mindset coaching, and I was doing business coaching. So at the time, I was still trying to figure out my niche, like who I was working with. I was saying yes to a lot of different types of clients, and I really hadn't narrowed down. I was in the mindset that maybe you can relate to, that mindset of like, if I niche, I'm going to miss out on opportunities that other people might want to work with me. And that was the biggest mistake, right? It was the biggest mistake. As soon as I started to niche even further, this is where I really nailed my messaging. I spent time really getting clear on who I really wanted to work with and the type of work that I wanted to do. I really wanted to work with female founders. I really wanted to work with people who are willing to look at the mindset of what was holding them back. I was wanting to work with clients that were really ambitious. And that's the year that I really decided and made that shift. I actually hadn't up until that point said that I was doing business mindset coaching. I was still talking about doing business coaching. And what was really interesting was that once I made that shift, everything else became so much easier for knowing what content I was putting out, on who I was talking to, and it made everything so much easier. That then brought me to my offers. I had my existing coaching packages, but one big shift that happened that year is I stepped away from selling time for money. I no longer offered one-off sessions because I knew that that was not actually going to get my clients the result that I really wanted to help them achieve. I needed more time with them, and I had to believe in that. I had to own that, and I had to be strong in my boundaries with only selling packages, not just one-off sessions. Because up until that time, I was still selling 90-minute sessions or 3-hour sessions, and trying to fit in so much in a short period of time and hoping that my clients would then be able to implement it, but they couldn't. It was too much. It was too overwhelming. So I needed to actually really hone in on my packages, and that's when I introduced an actual coaching package with a framework. I unpacked my own framework. I created my own framework, and then I went to work and selling it. That's where I started to put in my sales strategy that I had learned years ago in business, but because I'd gotten so caught up in the coaching world, I was doing things and kind of listening to all the gurus online. I was literally just doing that and doing what they thought was right and just posting content all the time and all those things which weren't working. And so when I said to myself, like, sales, like you've been doing it for so many years, why do you think it's going to be any different when it's selling online? And yes, it's definitely different when it comes to selling yourself because, I was in corporate, I was selling products rather than actually selling my services specifically. So it definitely brought up some insecurities and some doubt along the way, which I needed to work through. But at the end of the day, I was still selling. And when it comes to sales hasn't changed over the years, right? We're still selling. The decision-making process is still the same for every human, but the approach that we have is different online. And there is definitely some icky sales tactics that were going around at the time. I remember seeing what everyone else is doing and it being completely out of integrity, and people were being like pressured and pushed and they were using fear and shame to sell. And I was like, ugh, I'm not doing that. And so I had some real breakthroughs in that year for me to be like, no, how am I going to do it differently? And so I went about upskilling, I went about learning, or all the online spaces. I went about really elevating my marketing. I worked on everything that I knew that was going to get me in front of the right clients. I did a lot more speaking and I increased my visibility. I stayed true to my messaging and stayed strong with that consistency. And one of the biggest things was the accountability, is actually keeping myself accountable to take the action to get the results. Because to create consistent results in your business, you need to take consistent action. And they need to be the right actions, right? Because you're absolutely getting caught up in spending time doing all the things behind the scenes, like updating all the admin, serving your clients, updating your website, writing emails, like doing a bunch of things. But if you're not actually implementing sales activities and you're not doing those consistently, that's where you will struggle to make really good income. I then went about working on my mindset. I delved so deep into money mindset. I was so obsessed. I became so obsessed with money mindset and was learning everything. And what I actually did was I made the decision to make sure that I actually implemented the changes with my money mindset. So not only did I work through shifting old belief systems, but I worked through updating my existing money mindset with new wealth mindset habits, wealth mindset belief systems, and started embedding that. Now that took a little bit of time. Plus, there came a point where I was tested. I was tested. I remember being halfway through that year and basically having a $1,500 bill come to me from the ATO that I had to pay. And I was like, how am I going to find this money? What am I going to do? I don't even have any clients up my sleeve I don't even have any potential clients that I could possibly work with. There came a time where I was like, okay, you need to not only be taking the consistent action, but you need to have the mindset to believe that you're worthy of receiving all the income that you desire. And at that point, I had to put into practice the level of trust that it takes to trust that you will be provided for. You will be provided for on every step of the way if your frequency is matching the vibration of where you want to be. And so I had this moment of truth where I was like, you've been learning all this stuff. Are you going to actually put it into practice? And I did. And I took that consistent action, and slowly but surely my income started to grow. And it was so exciting. And I got to play with a few different strategies online with what worked and what didn't work. And then I just kept practicing until I got to a point where I now feel so confident in being able to know exactly how to find my next client, in knowing exactly where my income is going to come from, having income, well in advance. So you've got a forecast of income coming over the next few months. There's so much that can happen in a year if you make those decisions and you choose to change what's happening in your business. So when it comes to being a service-based business owner, it is so important that you choose your messaging and you choose your positioning of who you want to work with and how you want to work with them. First, as the expert, you need to decide, how am I going to get the best results? Because at the end of the day, you could have a great sales strategy, but if your service isn't great, if you're not actually creating results for your clients, like for instance, I had a client message me this morning. She's so excited. She's been putting into practice a strategy that I teach in Unstoppable Sales. And she messaged me this morning and she was like, you will not believe what's happened in the last few days. It's a Monday. She was messaging me first thing. She's like, over the weekend, I have confirmed I think it was four clients. They've all paid like deposits, or some of them have paid up front. And she's now confirmed $10,000 worth of work. Confirmed. And I was like, oh my God, like absolutely celebrated her in the moment. And I was like, yes, this is the work. Like she has been putting in the work. We did a lot of work on her money mindset in December. We've been focused on her activities within her business in January. And we had an element of like a little bit of tough love where I was like, okay, I want you to go and not work on these things behind the scenes, because she was going back to things that she felt super confident with, which was like the admin, updating a lead magnet, playing with the website. And I was like, you are not allowed to touch any of those things until you've done these specific sales activities. And she was like, okay. And they were uncomfortable and she felt awkward at first. And she was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I felt not confident. And I was like, it's okay. You will develop the confidence as long as you continue to take the action, and then just keep communicating with me. Whenever you get stuck, you message me. And she did. And these are the results that you can create with that consistency in your business. And so I am teaching her what I did for myself back in that third year of business. And I want to teach you as well. So if you are ready to hit that 6-figure mark this year, it's time. If you want to hit those 10K months, which I believe you should want that, you should want to earn good money in your business, it's definitely time for it this year. So I'm going to share with you the exact strategy that I'm teaching her as well as you in this 3-day challenge called the 6-figure leap, happening the 12th to the 14th of February. And lastly, what I want to share with you today on the podcast, actually, no, I've got a couple of things I want to share with you. Firstly, it's so important that at this phase of business that you actually simplify rather than overcomplicate. When you overcomplicate your sales strategy, it becomes very uncomfortable or very challenging to stay consistent with it. So we want to make sure that we're so clear on the one offer that you want to sell, right? So you create that high ticket offer that's going to allow you to hit 10K months. We make sure that we know how to sell it. So we're really clear on the outcomes, results, and transformation that it creates, because that's what you're actually selling. You're not selling the inclusions, you're not selling your time. We want to focus on the results that you're actually selling. So when we go about selling it to the market, that's what we're communicating on a consistent basis. So we want to simplify it by making sure, one, your offer is like so irresistible that you love it and you know that it's going to get your clients the results. Then we go about selling it. We go about getting it in front of the right people and generating sales conversations with the right people that then will lead to sales, obviously. So when we are simplifying it in that way, we then want to go, okay, so what are the steps? What are the steps that I need to take a customer through to get them from being interested to then considering my offer to then buying? Those are the things that we need to get really, really clear on. And when we simplify that by, one, having the right mindset, two, understanding exactly the steps that you're going to lead a client to. Because this is the thing, often what you think is like, oh, strategy sounds so complicated. It doesn't have to be. It just has to be a clear pathway for you to go, okay, so this is what I do. I have a conversation with someone that could be potentially a dream client. I ask some questions. I uncover what their challenges are that they're experiencing. We talk a little bit about the problem. Now, if I feel like they're ready to buy, then I will lead them to a sales conversation, which may be a sales call, right? Or I might direct them to a sales page, right? Then I will follow the sales call process and I will have that conversation, nurture that in order for them to know whether it's the right decision to work with me or not. It'll be a qualifying process, so then I also know that they're the right client to work with. And then I will present my offer in a confident and certain way. That's absolutely going to get you results. Secondly to that, if they're not ready to buy, if I'm not getting those warm green light signals that is like, yes, I'm wanting to know more, then I might give them more value. So I might lead them to then a lead magnet. So I might send them a link, or I might say, hey, I've got something that can help you. Here you go, check this out, and give them that option to work on that first for free. And then you've got a reason to go back to them. Then you will go back to them and nurture that conversation even more before then leading them to a sales call. Now that might be one small, simple strategy that you could put into practice, right? It's not as easy as said, I get it, right? We want to obviously create opportunities to have conversations with clients and lead them to that. But a lot of the time is what's happening is you're waiting for clients to come to you instead of you going to them. We've got to get you in front of the right clients. We've got to get you in conversation with the right clients. Now that's going to be different for everyone's businesses because everyone's slightly different. Some of you have different strengths and some of you you have a different offering. So it might be different. So we really want to figure out like what is the best strategy for you to get in front of the right clients, to be having those conversations that could potentially lead to a sales conversation. You don't have to have any perfect sales page. You do not have to have anything else necessarily set up or a perfect website. No, you can absolutely have a one-to-one conversation with someone that can lead to a sale simply and easily in the DMs or in Messenger. So we want to utilize your social media to create those opportunities. And by focusing on results and focusing on nurturing and building relatability into your content, you can absolutely create those opportunities. If you're adding enough value, right? Again, sometimes people get so caught up in doing all the things that they focus on the wrong things, and they're just creating random content instead of really thinking about this ideal client, this specific ideal client that I really want to work with. What do they need? How can I help them? And just literally going out and helping more people. If you help more people, let's say you go out today and you help 10 people without asking them to pay for anything, you just help them. That energy of reciprocation will happen. And what you give out, you will get back. And it's so amazing when that starts to happen, when people start doing this more and more, especially that stage of business. If you haven't perfected your framework and you need to perfect that, if you haven't perfected your sales process and you need to perfect that, then you can go and practice on people. And you can go and actually serve people and give away elements of what you do for free to a certain extent to get the testimonials, to get the case studies, to get the proof and the confidence that you need in order to sell yourself with absolute confidence. It's really about simplifying your process, sticking with one service, right? And this is where people get so complicated. They go and try to add more and more services thinking that that's what will make it easy for people to buy. No. You do not need to have another service on your website. You need to decide what is the best service that's going to deliver the results that you know you can deliver. What's the best outcome that you can create for a client? That's the service you need to be promoting, and that's the service you need to be putting out. But you need a better strategy. But you need a better sales strategy. That's all it is. So in the Six Figure Leap, I'm going to be exploring this even in depth and helping you unpack those really unique pieces that will make you stand out from the crowd and create those conversations online so then you can convert more clients. And then I'm going to give you the sales scripts in order to do that. So feel free to come and join me for that. You can register via the link in the show notes. Okay, I have a couple of things I want to share with you, exciting news. Okay, so firstly, my book is coming out really soon and I'm so excited, and I want to know where I should come for my book launch parties. I'm planning on coming to Melbourne, and I'm going to do one in the city, and I'm going to do one in Gippsland where I grew up because I have a friend who owns a bookstore there, and I've got family and friends down there as well. So I'm going to be doing those two. I'm thinking about coming to Sydney, but I'd love to hear from you. If you're in Sydney, you'd love for me to come down there to do the book launch, please let me know. And one in Brisbane, absolutely, and possibly one on the Gold Coast. I'll do a book signing at a bookstore. So they're my main goals of where I'm going to be. But if there's anywhere else you want me to go, please let me know, and I will do my best to see if it's possible to come and see you. This will most likely be March and April. Then that brings me to the next exciting thing, or the most exciting thing. I'm going to be hosting an event in Brisbane, an event like no other business event. This is not going to be a boring conference. This is not going to be something where you sit down around tables and chit chat. No, it's going to be a transformational, high energy, next level event that's going to support you in leveling up to be able to unapologetically go after your dreams. Now, this is going to be so much fun, and I am bringing it all together behind the scenes. I'm working on it behind the scenes, finding the most incredible speakers to come and present for you, I don't want to give away all the secrets, but it's going to be so worthwhile you being there. And I would even suggest that wherever you are in the country, that you fly. I guarantee you it's going to be such an incredible day. It's a full day event with VIP drinks in the evening, and it's going to be held at the Brisbane Convention and Exhibition Centre on the 15th of May. So put that date in your calendar, look at flights. I've booked the venue, so it's going ahead no matter what, right? Like, this is not just an idea that I'm like toying with. No, it's happening. So save the date, put it in your calendar, look at the dates and get the support that you need if you have to get kids babysat, whatever it might be. If you need to come up for a family holiday on the Gold Coast and then come up for the day, like whatever's going to work for you, it is going to be worth your while. And it's a full day event on May the 15th, which is a Thursday. Okay, I'm going to let you know as soon as tickets are available. We're going to have the early bird tickets available very soon, and they will be at the most discounted rate you can possibly get access to, and then the price will go up. So I'm giving you a heads up now, because when that goes live, you will only be able to purchase for a week at that price point before it goes up. So I'll give you a heads up as soon as it's available, but I just wanted to give you a save the date now so you can pop it in your calendar. All right, lovely. I hope you have an incredible rest of your week. And if you are keen to join me for the 6-Figure Leap, register for that now. If you are already above 6 figures and you're working towards scaling with scalable programs and scalable offers, and you would love to work with me, there is another opportunity to do that. It's called the Next Level Mastermind, and I am doing enrollments behind the scenes. So if you are keen to join me for the next round, send me a DM or send me an email and let me know that you'd like to chat more about it. Just let me know you'd like to know more information, and I'll send you more information and we can have a chat. All right, lovely. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all really soon. Thank you for listening, and if you've found any value out of this episode, make sure you hit the follow button so you get access to the episodes as soon as they are live, and make sure you come hang out with me on Instagram. You can find me at ChristineCorcoran_coach. Have an incredible week.